Hi guys, this week's Torah portion is Vayera, and I want to begin with a question that has been genuinely alive for me. I recently heard a teaching from Rabbi Ephraim Povlonov that challenged my understanding of free will. He said something very simple and very unsettling, that the only true free will we have is the choice to believe in God and the choice to understand why we chose the life we are living. According to this teaching, before we enter this incarnation, the soul stands in a kind of a heavenly court and chooses the life that will best support its spiritual evolution. Not because God predicts our future, but because God contains past, present, and future simultaneously. So the future isn't guessed. It already exists within him. And when I heard this, a question immediately arose in me. If my choices were already made, if the life I'm living was chosen before my soul arrived, then why does life respond so differently when I live in alignment and when I don't? Why is it that when I give time to my body, to Torah, to presence and study, everything in my life seems to flow? And when I deny myself those things, when I override my own alignment, everything, even my work and finances, become constricted. If the choice was already made, what exactly am I choosing now? This is where something very important becomes clear. Predetermination does not mean coercion. It means design. The soul does not choose every event. It does not script every detail. What it chooses is something subtle. The condition under which life flows. Not what will happen, but what alignment will allow vitality, clarity, and movement. So free will isn't removed, is relocated. Free will does not live in endless options. It does not live in rewriting the architecture of my life. Free will lives here. Will I recognize how my life works? And will I cooperate with it consciously? Or will I fight my own design and call that freedom? You can resist what you chose. You're allowed to. But resistance has a cost, not as punishment, but as friction. This is where Vayera becomes essential. The portion of Vayera begins with a very strange moment. God says to Moses, I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but I was not known to them by my name. And yet, nothing changes. Pharaoh is still in power. The people are still enslaved. In fact, things get harder. So what changed? Recognition. A deeper layer of reality was revealed. But the external world did not yet respond. And this is crucial. Vayera is not the Exodus. No one leaves Egypt in this portion. Instead, pressure increases. Plagues begin, not as punishment, but as system failure. Pharaoh hardens again and again. He cannot adapt. Moses, on the other hand, does something very different. He stays present. Pharaoh represents a consciousness that cannot bend. He hardens in the face of pressure. Moses represents something entirely different. The ability to remain aligned, even when nothing resolves yet. This is not heroism, it's endurance. And endurance is not passive. It is the refusal to disconnect from truth, while pressure is applied. So when life responds differently, depending on whether I honor my body, my Torah study, my presence, it is not because God is rewarding me. And it's not because God is punishing me when I don't. It's because I am either in resonance with what I chose or I am not. Vayera teaches us something very precise. Liberation does not come from choosing differently. It comes from not hardening when pressure reveals the truth of who we are. This changes how we understand effort. Effort is not about forcing outcomes. Effort is about staying aligned when alignment is inconvenient. And guilt has no role here. If something stops flowing when you override your alignment, that is not failure, it's feedback. So perhaps the real question of free will, it is not, did I choose this? But will I understand why I chose it? Your life is not asking you to escape your design. It's asking you to recognize it. This week of Vayera doesn't ask what needs to change. It asks something quieter. What alignment allows me to stay present without hardening? Because pressure does not mean you chose wrong. It means you are closer enough to the truth that resistance is no longer sustainable. And that, according to Torah, is exactly where redemption begins, even if nothing looks free yet.